Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Yeah, it is hump day and a good day. In a few hours, I am sipping some Galway Bay eggnog and recording a podcast. Noon lunch date at True Food Kitchen, and then dinner in Baltimore celebrating my oldest kid's birthday. I'll take that any day of the week. But for now, it is Wednesday, so let's get into the news, shall we? As if the bus issue was not hassle enough, remember that schools are letting out 2 hours early today so teachers can learn about Unity Day, and also 2 hours early tomorrow for parent-teacher conferences. And speaking of the buses, the situation seems to be getting worse. 27 are showing canceled with another 5 delayed. Again, aacps.org/buses is where you want to go to check it out. And yesterday in the weekly media call, I asked the county executive how long it was going to take to get the dollars into the pockets of the bus drivers now that the school has put forth a plan. He hemmed and hawed and said that the council was taking it up in November, and then he acquiesced that coupled with the federal requirements, it may not be until 2022 until the raises are actually realized. So it looks like the bus woes will continue for the foreseeable future. Yesterday, we dropped 4 bonus podcasts with the candidates running for office in the city elections: Karma O'Neill and Scott Gibson in Ward 2, Monica Manthe in Ward 5, and Rock Tays in Ward 8. I spoke with Rob Savage in Ward 7, Brooke Schandelmeyer in Ward 5, and Ellie Tierney in Ward 1 about an interview, but our schedules just never jived together. Both Mayor Buckley and his challenger, Stephen Strawn, never responded to 3 emails, nor did Ward 3's Rhonda Pindell-Charles, Ward 4's Sheila Finlayson, or Tony Strong-Pratt, who actually is mounting another write-in campaign. Ward 6, DeJuan Gay and George Gallagher did not respond, nor did Ross Rarnett from Ward 8. Not even a polite no thank you or an impolite go pound sand. You can take that for what you will. Yesterday, I mentioned Mayor Buckley and Chief Jackson's new safety plan, and I looked at it, and you can too at eyeonannapolis.net, but it's really just a series of graphics to make up an infographic with data that is not the most current, and it might be cherry-picked. I put a link into the FBI database into that article and also included the reported crime maps for 2020 and 2021. It's interesting if you compare the two to see the drastic drop in reported incidents this year in Annapolis from 2020. It doesn't make sense to me, and we're continuing to dig, so stay tuned on that. Hey, this is pretty cool. Check out a podcast called Makers of the USA. Now, Kristen Vermeulen, who was born here in Ellicott City, lived in Annapolis. Now she's based up in Maine, and she's the host of it. And it started out initially as a Makers of Maine podcast featuring crafters, artisans, artists, and the like in Maine. It went a little bit viral, and now she is taking it across the USA and starting right here where she began in Maryland. She's talking to musicians, the luthier, candle makers, watermen, John Fager from Fager's Island, and of course, Smith Island Cakes, and a bunch of others. It's really very cool, and our pal Jamie Costello from ABC2 will be featuring her on an upcoming segment on WMAR as well. Check it out, Makers of the USA, wherever you get your podcast. And as we begin to wrap it up, a few events and activities that you want to put on your calendar. First, at the Annapolis Town Center on October 30th from noon to 4 p.m., it is their annual Fall Fest. It's free, and we'll have tractor rides, hay maze, pumpkin painting, performances of Thriller, you know that Michael Jackson song, a DJ, and ton of food trucks and much more. You want to head on over to AnnapolisTownCenter.com for all of the deets. And Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for the rest of the month, Romeo and Juliet by the Classic Theater of Maryland and their gorgeous theater on West Street near Chinkapin Round Road. The classic story comes to life right before your eyes, 8 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, 2 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. More details and tickets at classictheatermaryland.org. That's all spelled out, and theater is the old-fashioned way with the R-E at the very end of it. And it's funny, every time I say Romeo and Juliet, my mind goes to that Little Rascals episode. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, Google it. And hey, if the weather looks nice, only a few more weeks to sail on the Wilma Lee, the Annapolis Maritime Museum and Park skipjack. Only one of about a dozen or so left still in use. Tickets at amaritime.org. Up this weekend on the Local Business Spotlight will be Monica from Bread and Butter Kitchen, and I'm not quite sure who's next weekend, so if you have any suggestions, send them my way. Oh, and don't forget, leave us a review or a rating if you are anywhere where you can do that. All right, that is it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our 4 sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, Rehab to Perform, and Scott Gibson for Alderman in Ward 2. So now, hang tight. We have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report coming up in just a few seconds.
Hi, I'm Scott Gibson, candidate for Annapolis City Council in Ward 2. Did you know that the city has let 1 in 5 police positions go vacant this year? Think about that for a minute. That's 20%. I'm running for city council because I believe a $152 million budget should be enough to make the investments our community needs. We simply cannot continue to go back to the taxpayer time after time after time and ask for more, especially when our tax rates are already 35% higher than Anne Arundel County. If elected, I'll leverage my nearly 2 decades of experience running $100 million organizations to bring focus and efficiency to your city council, something I think has been lacking. To learn more or to contact me, please visit scott-gibson.com. Again, that's scott-gibson.com.
Paid for by Friends of Scott Gibson, Sandy Crozier, Treasurer. When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, October 20th. Yesterday was a nice improvement over Monday's windy conditions, but today through Friday will probably be even better, with the outlook for the weekend being very nice as well. Look for sunny highs today and tomorrow in the mid-70s or so, with much lighter winds for most spots across Anne Arundel County, with temps Friday and Saturday then in the upper 60s to lower 70s, ahead of sunny but low to mid-60s on Sunday and Monday of next week. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter each day and download our app at DCMDVA Weather from the Apple or Google App Stores on all of your devices, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company.
Did you know that home values jumped over 10% on average in 2020? And we are expected to see more increases over the next 3 to 6 months. What's causing this rise in value? First, limited inventory. We have about 60% fewer homes on the market right now than we did the same time last year. Second, low interest rates. People can afford more home right now, and that is very appealing. Third, increased buyer demand. We literally have over 20 interested and qualified buyers waiting for the right home to come on the market, and we are not alone. If you were ever thinking of timing the market just right to get the highest price in recent history, your time has come. My team is available and ready. Give us a call today. We'll check your home's value and break neighborhood records.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services, with your Clean Energy Minute. Does your home experience power outages? Or maybe you're concerned about energy resilience in general? If so, that's another great reason to consider clean, quiet solar-powered energy with battery backup. You may have heard residential solar adoption has rapidly increased during the pandemic for multiple reasons, and many homeowners, like yourself, are adding battery backup and electric vehicle charging to their solar projects. And with Maryland's residential energy storage storage income tax credit, along with the federal tax credit for batteries when paired with solar, the economics are quite compelling, and that secure feeling is even better. So whether you're looking for clean energy, energy resilience, or overall peace of mind with solar energy, we can help. To schedule a free solar design, call us today at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net. But hurry, sunshine's a-wasting.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.